friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for another natural healing testimony. So this is part 4 in the series. I know there's going to be at least 2 or 3 more parts to go. Maybe this will be continuing on forever and ever, or at least for as long as I still have any channel anywhere. And what these are stories that my followers have shared with me via email on things that they've done to help heal themselves or their family from various issues. Now, if you have your own testimony you would like to share, you can put that in comments down below. But if you would like it to be part of a future video, please email it to me at raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. I won't be reading any names in these. And title that email Natural Healing Testimony, so I know what folder to drop it in when it comes in. So let's get started on these stories. I suffered for years with allergies, and working in the trades and living in the country would aggravate it. I started making my own concoction with ideas from your channel, and it made a huge difference. That's pretty cool. From my channel. I made mine with peppers and ginger and horseradish amongst other ingredients. It's a great way to start the day. So it sounds like that could be something more similar to like either the honey infused garlic or the fire cider, which, by the way, I don't have a video on. One of these days I'm going to make it again so I can actually do a video. I haven't made it since long before I started my channel. I do like the honey infused garlic with the horseradish and stuff added in it better though. So the next story. My stepmother came back from holiday from Germany a few months back, and she ended up with a sore throat, and she was able to shake it. To top it off, she started not having any energy. On Friday, when I saw my dad, I gave him a jar with honey and garlic, which I had made back in April, as well as a bottle of kombucha. Yesterday, she sent me a text message thanking me for the amazing help. The sore throat is gone, and her energy is back to normal. I love all the natural remedies that are out there, as they truly help. And then she had another one that she shared was, my husband had burned his hand badly a while back, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th degree burn. Whew. The hospital cut all the blisters away and just bandaged it up. As he runs his own business and needs his hands for that, I decided I was going to use castor oil on his hand, using it day and night by putting some on a cloth, placing it on his hand, and bandage it. After a week, he was able to make some use of his hand, and after a month, you couldn't tell that he had burnt his hand. That is amazing. Great story. Okay, next one. My latest surprise remedy was yarrow tincture gargle for strep throat. I had long known of its use as a fever reducer, but I read something about its specific antibiotic properties against strep, and when I caught strep from a coworker at school and found out what it was, I immediately started gargling with it and felt fine that night. My throat kept getting a little sore again between gargling, but by the end of 3 days it was totally gone, and I had no other symptoms. And the throat pain had been very minimal. Meanwhile, everyone at school had it for weeks. I was very lucky to find an entire unsprayed field of it in the next town and gathered a car seat full for drying, salve, and tincture. So by the way, I just redid my yarrow video. It was one of the first herb-related videos I did when I first started my channel years ago. I just recently did a new one, and I'll link to that down below. In fact, instead, I do this every time. Instead, I'm going to link to that specifically. What I'll do is I'll link to the full playlist that includes that video, plus many other herbs, because I know some more of these stories have other herbs that I have profiles on that are in that list. So yarrow is a great one. It was one of the first ones I started growing. The next few are still by the same person. I also grow motherwort because in the 1970s, we used to give it to young mothers due to its calming effect. But I found it completely eliminates my hot flashes. Boy, that's good to know. Now I should say that I'm already menopausal and stopped 15 years ago. But a couple of years ago, I found that if I was warm at night, I would get flashes at night. I take a dropper before I go to bed and no problems at all. I don't take it every night, just when I start getting them again, mostly during the summer. So yeah, we do find out those things kind of come and go. I tend to get them actually more in the wintertime when we got blazing hot fires going. And yeah, usually it's evening is usually when it's worse. But not all the time. So motherwort, that's a good one to know. Now here's another story by her. Most people are becoming familiar with how well plantain salve works for mosquito bites, but I recently found my forearms itching from dozens of tiny bites from clearing out the huge tops of late summer mugwort plants, and plantain wasn't helping. I had thrown a bunch of curling cup, I think is what this says, gumweed seeds from a neighbor's field in my yard, and this year had a bumper crop of this weed. I had made a salve from the sticky flowers, so I used it for the itchy rash. Took the itch and rash away almost immediately. I also used fresh flowers in honey to use as a cough remedy, and it's wonderful. I used it for itch and scratchiness in my throat during allergy season. This one's a little bit longer, but by a different person. I was diagnosed with acid reflux in 2018. My symptoms were stomach pain and coughing whenever I moved about or talked. My doctor put me on an acid reflux pill, 2 pills per day. After multiple times of telling my doctor the pills were not working, but making my stomach worse, she insisted that I continue the medication and that it takes time to heal. While my doctor was on maternity leave, another doctor took over her practice and questioned why I was on acid reflux pills for so long. That is when I started to research. Long and short, I went to a health food store and the knowledgeable owner explained what the medication was doing to my stomach lining. No surprise. He recommended to stop ASAP and said that even though my stomach might get very sore, to not resort to taking the meds again. He said our bodies can heal itself. That gave me hope. I listened to his instructions and bought a special probiotic apple cider vinegar. Like he forewarned, my stomach was sore for the first couple of weeks, but after that, it was back to normal. Today, 5 years later, my stomach is still normal. Probiotics plus apple cider vinegar was all I needed. The ACV helped to balance the stomach acids. The reflux meds did more harm than good, and I should never have been on them for that long. Heidi has videos on how to make ACV. It is so easy and so beneficial for our bodies, which, by the way, your apple vinegar, pear vinegar, whatever vinegar it is you make, you can make it out of herbs, especially even consider making it out of herbs that are specifically good for digestive health. Like marshmallow is a good one. Use some marshmallow leaves, and there's so many more out there. Dandelion flowers are a great one to add. And you can make vinegars out of those, and the vinegars, as long as they're not being distilled, they're going to have a lot of probiotics in them anyway. So you may not have to even take probiotic supplements on top of that. So just a little tip there. But yes, I have all kinds of videos on making vinegar. I'll link to the full vinegar making playlist down below. And some of them go back 7 years, but I do recommend the most recent one where I talk about making fruit vinegar. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just link to that one, and because that one I cover all kinds of things, herb vinegars and more. So the last one, I don't know how much of a testimony this will be, but here goes. Years ago, I was drinking instant coffee that had chicory in it. I had no stomach problems. The company quit putting chicory in their coffee, and I developed GERD. I read that chicory was good for the digestive system. I bought a small amount of chicory to mix with my coffee. I haven't taken my meds in 2 weeks, and I've only had 2 flare-ups, and was when I drank milk and ate grapefruit, which I know better. So I hope this continues to work, because I don't want to take medicine which is destroying my bones and causing me to lose B12. I believe in herbal remedies and wish I could handle more, but at least I'm trying. You know, we all have to start somewhere, and we also all have to learn as we go. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable any one person is that you follow, or even that person themselves. Whenever you're trying a new herb, or maybe you have a new health condition you haven't had to deal with, at least since before you started getting into natural medicine, everything's going to be trial and error. Some things will work right away, just like they do for certain other people whose testimonies you hear. Some things won't work for you at all. And the methods you use to take them is all going to vary. Some people do better with tinctures, some people do better with teas or decoctions. And just to note, by the way, when it comes to tinctures, a lot of people think you have to tincture everything. You don't. When you look at the Native Americans, they didn't tincture anything. Everything they did was teas, decoctions, poultices, and they didn't make tinctures. So that's a more modern thing that we see being done. But they used all these herbs for healing by making teas and decoctions and poultices. Poultices, obviously, when you're using it externally, decoctions and teas when you're taking it internally. So not everything has to be tinctured. And in fact, I think there's quite a bit of things you don't have to tincture at all. I do like to make a couple of extracts that make it just easy to take, like for pain and certain other things, because you can just, it's just condensed, it's quick, it's easy. But not everything. I do tend to do a lot of decoctions and teas myself. That's our most common way to get our medicinal herbs and syrups, such as elderberry spice syrup. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the 4th installment in the Natural Healing Testimonies, and make sure you check out that playlist, which I'll also link to down below. And there's still much more to come, including one that I'll be doing only for Rumble because of certain substances people are talking about I can't talk about on YouTube. So if you're not following me on Rumble yet, make sure you do that so you can stay up to date on all videos that are coming out, including all those that I can't put on YouTube. Oh yes, and don't forget, if you have your own testimony, raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. Natural Healing Testimonies for the title, so I can read that in a future video. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.